Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something huge. Why AI is forcing us to completely rethink and rebuild the data center from the ground up.
All right, before we jump in, just a quick but important heads up. This is Module 10 of a 15-part tutorial all about picking a cloud provider for your AI work. What you're seeing is an overview based on a really detailed report from Virtualization Options LLC, and it's meant as general guidance. It comes without warranty, and it's definitely not legal or financial advice. So we always recommend chatting with your own financial, technical, and legal pros before you take any action. And just so you know, these modules only scratch the surface of what's in the full research report.
So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to follow this crazy chain reaction. It all starts with a massive power surge, which creates a cooling crisis that then literally breaks the floor and finally chokes the network. Sounds dramatic, right? Well, once we see how AI just shatters the old model, we'll look at the new blueprint for building a data center that can actually handle it.
All right, let's get right into it. The first piece of the puzzle, and honestly the biggest challenge of them all, is power. We're talking about an absolutely massive demand for electricity from AI hardware. And I mean, this isn't just a little bump up, it's a whole new ballgame.
So here's the problem in a nutshell. You look at a traditional data center rack and it's sipping maybe 5 to 8 kilowatts of power. Okay. Now you look at a rack packed with GPUs for AI and whoa, we are talking 30, 40, even 50 kilowatts and up. The sheer density of power consumption is just staggering.
And this number right here, this really drives home the scale of what we're dealing with. We're not talking about a 20 or 30% increase. No way. We are looking at a 5 to 10 times jump in power consumption in the exact same physical space. Think about that. It just completely overwhelms an infrastructure that was never, ever designed for that kind of load.
So you might be wondering, where is all this coming from? Well, check this out. A single AI server, loaded up with those powerful GPUs, can pull down 4 to 6 kilowatts all by itself. Now, imagine stacking 8 or more of those in one cabinet. The math gets crazy fast. And the really critical part? This isn't a quick burst of power. It's a constant, sustained load, especially during training. It's like running a marathon at a full sprint, and standard power systems just can't handle that kind of pressure.
Okay, so what happens to all that electricity? Well, Physics 101, right? It doesn't just vanish. It turns into heat, a ton of heat. And that brings us to our second huge problem, a full-blown cooling crisis where good old-fashioned air conditioning just doesn't cut it anymore.
And this chart, wow, this really paints a picture, doesn't it? A standard data center is built to handle maybe 100 watts of heat per square foot, but an AI data center, you're looking at anywhere from 500 to 1,000 watts in that same little square. You just can't move that much heat with air. It's like trying to cool a blast furnace with a desk fan.
So to fight back against this heat wave, the entire industry has to get creative and evolve its cooling game. We're seeing this super fast shift away from just blowing cold air. Now we're talking about advanced liquid cooling. That could mean rear door heat exchangers that use water, or even direct-to-chip cooling where you're piping liquid right onto the hottest components. And then there's the most extreme option, full immersion cooling, where you literally dunk the entire server into a special non-conductive fluid. Wild stuff.
So we've got power, we've got cooling. Let's talk about the physical space itself, because all these extreme demands for power and cooling have a direct, and I mean physical, impact on the racks, the floor, and the whole layout of the data center. You see, AI servers aren't just power hogs. They're also heavyweights. A typical server might be, 50 pounds? An AI server can easily hit 150 pounds or more. So right away, you can't fit as many in a single rack. But the bigger problem is that concentrated weight. It can literally break the floor of a standard data center, which means you need serious reinforcement just to hold everything up.
And this physical change creates a whole new laundry list of engineering headaches. The rails inside the racks need to be beefed up. The floors themselves need to be strengthened. And then you've got to figure out how to manage these incredibly thick, high-voltage power cables needed for a 50-kilowatt rack. It's a logistical nightmare, and sometimes you even need totally custom mounting gear. This leads to a really interesting shift in how we think about efficiency. For years, the big metric in data centers was PUE, power usage effectiveness. Basically, how much power goes to the computers versus the building. But now, since these GPU servers are so incredibly expensive, the game has changed. The new key metric is compute efficiency. How many floating point operations per second, or flops, can you squeeze out of every single watt you're paying for? It's all about maximizing the bang for your buck on that massive power bill.
Okay, next up, the network. This is so important. When you're training a big AI model, you've got hundreds, maybe thousands of GPUs all working together on one problem. And in that scenario, the network can become the single biggest bottleneck. It creates this massive internal traffic jam.
To really get this, we have to talk about something called east-west traffic. Now, this is not the usual traffic of data coming into or leaving the data center. Nope. This is the constant, high-volume chatter between the servers inside the data center. It's all about keeping those GPUs synchronized while they're working. You could say it's the digital lifeblood of any big AI training job.
So the problem is that old-school data center networks were built like a tree. They were great for traffic that was going up and out to the internet, but they completely choke on this constant all-to-all communication of east-west traffic. The answer? A totally new design, like a leaf-spine network. The key is that it gives you a direct, super-fast, non-blocking path between any two servers in that cluster. No more bottlenecks.
And the solution here actually involves borrowing some tricks from the world of high-performance computing and supercomputers. We're talking about new network designs like Fat Tree and using specialized technology like Infinite Band. Infinite Band is built for one thing: incredibly low latency. That means the GPUs spend less time waiting for data and more time actually computing. It's all about building a data superhighway, so the network is never the weak link.
All right, so we've torn apart the old model. We've talked about power, cooling, space, networking. After all these radical changes, what does the blueprint for a modern AI-ready data center actually look like when you put it all together?
It really comes down to these four foundational pillars. First, power. You need a completely re-engineered system that can deliver high voltage to racks pulling 50 kilowatts or even more. Second, cooling. You've got to ditch air and move to advanced liquid cooling. Third, space. The physical structure has to be reinforced for all this heavy, dense hardware. And fourth, networking. You need a new architecture, a fabric built from the ground up for massive, non-blocking east-west traffic. It's a total package.
So you see, this isn't just about a simple upgrade. It's a fundamental redesign, a complete rethinking of the data center from the concrete slab up. And that leaves every single person in tech with a really critical question to ask themselves. Looking at these four pillars, is your data center really ready for what's coming next?